The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everybody to this 10-minute podcast on management information systems, where I'm going to share with you a few of my experiences of working as a school business manager and being responsible for the management information system in my school. To help you understand my role, I will take a moment to describe the context of my school, as this will help you to understand the nature of my role. So I'm a school business manager in a two-form entry primary academy where over 60% of the children have English as an additional language. The eligibility for free school meals is approximately 25%. So there are 420 pupils in the school with records that need to be maintained and 80 staff as well. And the management information system that we use is SIMS. So for those of you who are aspiring school business managers and not yet working in a school, SIMS stands for a School Management Information System. So a few other bits of information about the school is that we're a national support school, a lead school for a Teaching School Alliance, and a provider for SCIT, which stands for School-Centred Initial Teacher Training. So I thought I would reflect on the use of SIMS for staff for a moment. All information is entered into the Management Information System, or MIS. For the rest of this podcast I'll be using that, and should only be needed to be entered once. So the MIS should then be used to provide timely, meaningful information which is then able to be used by staff. So for example, all DBS checks, that information is entered into SIMS as those checks are cleared. So as a school business manager new to the school, I could not understand why the personnel assistant also entered the same information about each DBS onto a Word document. This Word document was then the report that was used to identify when staff or volunteers needed to have their DBS check reissued, redone. The information was in SIMS was not being used to inform anyone about the renewal dates for the employees. Similarly, CPD courses are recorded in SIMS in my school, and in addition to that, they are also recorded in separate Word documents that are being updated. So this meant, for example, when the designated safeguarding lead person in the school wanted to know who had attended PREVENT training or child protection training, that data would come from the Word document and not from SIMS. These examples illustrate that the member of staff was entering the information onto SIMS as it was part of a process she knew and she knew she had to follow. She was completing the Word documents knowing that she was duplicating the work, but because those documents were instantly visible and a very simple way for her to identify renewal dates or who else needed to be booked onto training courses. So the issue I had to tackle as a school business manager was training the member of staff to trust the management information system and then provide training for her so that she could easily be able to design and run reports herself to extract the information required. So 6 months later, we are now using SIMS to record information that can now be extracted into meaningful reports. But I have learnt that if you delegate a job to a member of staff, you need to regularly check that it is being done in the correct way and that they haven't adapted procedures to a method they like, which is duplication and therefore not efficient use of their time. Module 1 also covers software licenses, and I thought I would share with you a recent experience that I had regarding this, and that was when at Easter we had a whole school IT upgrade. Approximately 80 desktops and 50 laptops needed to be replaced. These items were 4 years old and were no longer suitable for use in our school. I had arranged for a registered company to collect them, and as part of their service they guaranteed that they would clear each machine down so that no data remained on the device and that any software that had been installed was going to be removed. To me, as school business manager, this was the safest way to comply with the data protection regulations. However, Several local schools became aware that our 4-year-old devices were potentially available for them to use, and as their equipment was older than 4 years old, it was agreed that instead of us disposing of them through this company I'd found, that our equipment would be donated to these other local schools. So as a school business manager, I was responsible for ensuring that none of my school's data and the software licenses were on any of the devices. I had to arrange for our IT support company to clear this information from our devices, and the schools that received our old equipment, I had to ensure that they signed a letter stating that they were aware that they had to take out licenses in their school's name and that they were taking on full responsibility for each device, ensuring that there could be no comeback to my organisation. These are just a couple of examples when, as a school business manager, I've been involved with the management information system and with data protection. There isn't time now to give you further details and of examples that I've been involved with, but I hope that the following few points might help you to reflect on procedures in place at your school, as these have also been areas that I've been involved in. So take time to think, do your staff use USB sticks at school? If so, do they contain sensitive data? Is that data encrypted? Could they bring a virus onto the school network by taking a USB stick home and then back into school on a daily basis? Ensure you have an IT policy that covers the acceptable use or not of USB sticks. Another area you could look at, data protection legislation allows you to collect and keep data that is needed by your organisation. So the recent introduction of the new form for childcare disqualification is that a form that is only to be given to a specific staff within your school, and that's covered by the legislation. So who gets this form in your school? Who are you asking to complete it? Check that you are not asking staff for data that is not legally needed by your organisation. When it first came in my school, the principal was doing a blanket issue to all staff right through from foundation stage right through to year 6. That's not the legal requirement. The DFE, they've issued guidelines and then they changed the guidelines, but as a school business manager, it's the responsibility of school business managers to keep their principal and their trustees up to date with current legislation. So take time to make sure that your school is complying with the data protection legislation. Another area is introducing other software to link with SIMS to improve communication to stakeholders. So I wanted to introduce texting and emailing to parents using a company called School Comms. So they were very much taken aback when I asked to see a copy of their data protection policy. As you can imagine, all of my school's parent contact information was going to be shared with an external company. I had to make sure that I had evidenced and checked that who I was entrusting that data to was going to keep it safe. Thank you very much for listening to my reflections on management information systems, and I hope that this will help you to reflect on your role within your school. Thank you.